Do you, I mean, that is a great idea for a dress. Do you ever think like, if you weren't just fired from Three's Company, like how different your life would be?
Probably not as good, because if I wasn't fired, I was really successful in sitcoms, and I probably would have gone on to do sitcom after sitcom after sitcom. This way, I had to reinvent myself over and over again. And when I went on the road, um, I had nothing to do during the day other than watch soap operas, which I wasn't going to do. And that's when I started writing books. So as of today, I've written 27 books. So it was real good. I went on the lecture circuit because of the material inside my book. You just kind of go with the flow. I started doing these Facebook Live shows, and I heard the same thing over and over and over and over again. My gut, my gut, my gut. I'm constipated, I'm bloated. And I'd written a book called Toxic, and I knew what was wrong with them. And so we created this product called Gut Renew, which is probably in sales on a par with Buttmaster. We order it, it's this, we order it by the ton, 70 tons at a time, not a ton, 70 tons at a time. And it's kind of like when you have gut problems, it's kind of a simple explanation. When you're eating food that isn't organic, and when you're breathing in chemicals, and when you put chemicals on your skin, those chemicals get in your GI tract. They eat holes through your barrier wall, causing leaky gut. You've heard of that. Leaky gut, then the chemicals go on a rampage through your body, and they attack your precious organs and glands. And the one they want the most is the brain. So they make their way up to the brain. This Gut Renew, for lack of a better example, works kind of like spackle. And it has all the stuff you haven't eaten today, marshmallow root and Jerusalem artichoke and all this stuff. And it supports that wall by sealing those leaks. And people, the reason they're so addicted to it is because they start seeing results in like a week or two. And it tastes great. So we have a Gut Renew smoothie pretty much every morning. And a lot of times in the afternoon, I have it made with coffee, just because why not? Tastes good, feel good, gets rid of gut problems.
And there are a lot of people, I mean, how it translated into sales, I'm sure, but like there are a lot of people last time that left comments on like YouTube and in my DMs that they either heard of this, or a lot of people were like, I'm going to go try this now. So.
Oh, thank you. I forgot we mentioned it last time, but
we did.
It's really, really popular product.
So hopefully.
So as an entrepreneur, when you're an entrepreneur, you keep throwing things against the wall, hoping something will stick. So this stuck, Buttmaster stuck, Buttmaster stuck, but not as stuck as the Buttmaster. And I have over 1,000 organic products. And there are people who won't use anything else. I don't blame them.
Is there ever a product of yours that, we may not know about that didn't see the light of day? Just like you said, like as an entrepreneur, look, you have a bad idea every now and then.
Yeah. Yes, I do. And I'm trying to think of what they are. And I can't remember the names, because if they didn't fly, I kind of moved on to the next thing. What we do, like, if you don't like your outer thighs, you come up with a solution. If you don't like your inner thighs, you get a Buttmaster and come up with a solution. If your gut's bothering you, make Gut Renew and come up with a solution. I even have a very popular product called the Face Master, which gives you a non-surgical facelift. And so I feel like I've been able to keep my face taut without surgery, and it looks more natural.
Wow. Yes, I'm going to have to sign up for one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're in the right, Beverly Hills, Malibu, you're right there, Palm Springs. Would you ever do, like you look at, like you talk about reality shows, like Shark Tank is so successful. Like you are, would you ever do, I mean, you have your new reality show hopefully coming out, but would you ever be like a guest judge on Shark Tank? Like they've had Alex Rodriguez, Bethany Frankel. I could see Suzanne Somers on Shark Tank.
Maybe like that. Generally, I usually am a one-man band, but we could probably figure out something for me.
Or you could
I was originally,
I was going to say, or you could just start your own Shark Tank, but go on.
I was originally asked to be on the original View Barbara Walters and whoever else. And I turned it down, and everyone said, "Why would you turn that down? It's a national show." I said, first of all, I'd have to live in New York. I don't really want to live in New York. I like the weather down here, and I like the vibe down here. I said, but secondly, I don't do well vying for time. And you got to interrupt and butt in and butt out, and it's just not my personality. So I walked away from that, and I've never looked back.
I do not think I knew that about you. So like the original view, like Barbara Walters wanted you.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it.
And you would have to fight, like you'd have to argue, you'd have to have a strong point of view and interrupt people and tell them why they're wrong.
I have specific points of view. Like I was at a dinner party not too long ago. I was sitting next to somebody very wealthy and very rich. Well, that's wealthy, isn't it? And very well known. And so he started talking about, there was another person on the other side of him, started talking about, tell me about bioidentical hormones. And this guy says, oh, they're crap. I said, excuse me. And I was going to take him on, because if you knew who it was, he's just way, way, way too famous and too wealthy and powerful. But I said, years ago, the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, which were the two richest families in the world, and owned pharmaceutical companies, hired a guy by the name of Abraham Flexner to go around to the institutes of higher learning, like Johns Hopkins, First Presbyterian, et cetera, and to offer funding in perpetuity if they would only teach allopathic medicine. Allopathic is, here's my problem, doctor, and the doctor says, okay, here's your drug. Bioidentical hormones aren't a drug. And so we were this is one of the arena he works in, and we were kind of butting heads. And I said, with all due respect, you're now in my territory. I've written 27 books. Most of them are about this subject. And I'm going to tell you, you are wrong. And he said, the Rockefellers don't own pharmaceutical companies. I said, you are wrong again. And he said, bioidentical hormones are crap. I said, you are wrong again. It replicates nature. It puts back what you've lost in the aging process. And to his credit, at the end of the evening, he came over to me, he said, I actually agree with most everything you said. It's very scientific. And I thought, well, that took a big man to say that. But if you get into my arena, I am very argumentative without having to win. I just was going to let my point of view be known. And I realized I convinced him. And that's why he was so conciliatory at the end.
See, you would have been perfect on The View. But to your point, I mean, you are a successful entrepreneur on your own. It would almost be maybe like a step back.
Yeah, the View is wasn't the place for me then. It's not the place for me now. I love when I've got somebody interesting to interview, to sit back and listen. I really like to listen. And that's how I write my books. I use my celebrity to get to the best and brightest minds. I call them up. I cold call them often. I called a guy by the name of Ray Kurzweil. He's a famed futurist at MIT. I thought, how do I get a hold of Ray Kurzweil? So I called MIT and I said, Ray Kurzweil, please. And they shunted me around. And finally, I get to his office. Ray Kurzweil, please. Yes, who's calling? Suzanne Somers. Do you have an appointment with him? No. Well, why do you want to talk to him? I said, tell him I'd like to speak to him about being one of the most fascinating men on the planet. Hi, Suzanne. He gets on. And I became very good friends with him because when I interview these doctors, scientists, and professionals, I listen and I give them approval over their pieces in my book. So I've never been challenged by any of my interviewers, and I've never been called out by, the FDA or anything, because I have every word in my books gone over by the scientific advisory board of doctors, scientists, and professionals. They vet every word, and if it's not right, we take it out. And so I have been educated. I didn't go to college, and I have been educated by all these people that I've interviewed, and it's so exciting. I think of what I want to learn next. And then I put together the list of interviewees that I've been keeping. I've got a folder in my computer. And then I start calling them. And I've not been turned down yet because I treat them right. And then my constituency, who knows I have their back. There's so many women whose lives have been improved by bioidentical hormones. They want to buy the books because they want to know what I learned this time. So it's been kind of great.